Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Livfiit Listens podcast. Happy October. I almost said November. We're definitely not there yet. Let's pump the brakes. Happy October. It's so crazy. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I was like, it's October 1st. I knew it was the end of September, but I didn't realize it was happening so soon. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it just was crazy to see October 1st on my phone. I basically felt such a strong urge to sit down, kind of do a little bit of a check-in with myself, a little life audit, I guess, if you will, just about how I'm feeling, reflecting on September and kind of how I want to be feeling in October and some new habits / intentions I want to carry with me into October. And it really just got me thinking of just the overall greater picture of life and kind of like a reminder of how I want to live my life. So I wanted to share what I went over this morning. I'm planning to record this, edit this, and upload this all in one day. So it's currently October 1st when I'm filming this. And I had this whole, meeting, I guess, with myself earlier this morning. I also even had a meeting with my boyfriend, checking in with him, having us reestablish new goals together and all the things. I love me a good visionary session, a goal setting session. I love knowing where we're going, what's our mission, what's our purpose, what's our intention, what's our focus. And I feel of course, a new month is the perfect opportunity for that. So first and foremost, starting with my gratitude for today, I am so grateful for the fall leaves, and I'm so grateful I'm in an area where I really can see the fall leaves and all of their beauty and glory. I am in the mountains in Utah, and the aspen trees just go crazy this time of year, and I love aspens. I love when everything turns to gold and everything's really bright yellow. So the colors have just been so beautiful here. Even still the reds and the oranges, just everything. The trees have been absolutely incredible and magnificent, and I've gone on a few little fall adventures to check out the leaves, and it's just so beautiful, and it blows my mind every time that, first of all, it's even possible for leaves, think about it, trees change their color literally just based off the time of year, which is so fat. That, if you were to tell someone who wasn't a regular on planet Earth, they'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That sounds like a miracle, because it literally is a miracle. And the fact that trees could actually be yellow, we just literally live in a coloring book, and it blows my mind, and it's so cool. And I'm just so grateful that I'm in a spot where I can actually see them, be in them, appreciate them. I'm honestly really rocking with fall this year, which isn't necessarily abnormal for me. I would say fall is my second favorite season, second to summer, of course, because I'm not crazy. I love summer, but I really do like fall, and I'm really leaning into this year. I'm loving the leaves. I'm loving the coziness. I'm wearing this little brown sweater. I'm loving the fall fashion. I'm kind of loving all of it lately, which we love a girl who's content with the present moment. Are we right? Okay. So let's get into today's episode. I'm going to start it off really by reading to you what my journal entry this morning, because I feel it really sets the scene of kind of how I've been feeling, and I'm sure so many of us have been feeling, and then kind of from there of why, I guess this is my why of why I feel so passionate and kind of ready to make some shifts, I guess, in my life. So I wrote down October 1st, and I said, what the helly? Because how are we already in October 1st? Wow, I can't believe we're here already. I feel like time is flying. Well, honestly, not flying, just escaping me. Distractions feel at an all-time high. Politics, phones, social media, TV, current events, all it's doing is taking me out of the present moment and stealing time away. Also, caveat, which I want to add, is that it's also just draining my energy and my mood and taking down my vibration, honestly. But I digress. I continue. I'm caught between I'm losing so much time and yet feeling like I still have so much time. I'm wondering if I'm overstaying in stale places and how much life is waiting for me in a new environment, but I've also been so content and at peace with where I'm at. Before I know it, it'll already have been 6 months of 26 and only 3.5 years until I turn 30. What will I do with that time? What do I want to do? So I more so was just thinking about how I feel like distractions in our world are truly at an all-time high. And even thinking back to a few years ago, even 5 years ago, back to 2020 and whatnot, I just feel like the distractions have just been climbing steadily ever since. And I feel like now more than ever, it's so important to not only be aware of that, like being aware of what's sucking your energy, what is sucking your attention, because time and attention are truly our most valuable assets. Like it's so important to be aware of what is draining you, what are our energy leaks, and where are you giving away your attention, giving away your focus, giving away your energy on something that's not having a positive impact on your life. When I say distractions, I feel like I just have realized there's so much that's going on in my life, or like just distractions that feel like things that are not contributing to my life in any way. Like they're not even, it's a pure waste of time. Like, for example, when you're doom scrolling, like I saw something that made me have like an holy crap moment where like if I were to ask you like what was your 37th post that you saw yesterday when you were scrolling, or like what were you looking at on your phone at 3 p.m. yesterday, you will have no idea what you were looking at. And I think that's what gets me, like sends me in the most spiral when it comes to social media, is that it's just like purely a waste of time with like no true impact. You're not going to have any memory of it. Like, sure, we learn things, and yes, we have one-off laughs here and there, but it just seems like such shallow, short-term entertainment for the most part. Like, of course, follow people, consume people that contribute to your life in some way. Like, I still love to learn on social media, and of course, like everything has good and bad, but I think especially with how progressed the algorithms have gotten and how easy it is to be consumed in a doom scroll, even in comparison to a few years ago, because the algorithm has just gotten more advanced. The apps have been more set up just to continue scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and have this like addictive, bottomless pit kind of dynamic. It's so easy just to not even be conscious of like what you're consuming, have there be like no value. Like to me, it just seems like there's like a leak. Like if my attention and energy was a hose, it just seems like someone has poked a ton of holes in my hose that's having just like a bunch of water leaks, and it's just genuinely wasting the water. Like it's not helping to fill up a different bucket. It's not helping anything else. It's literally just purely a waste of my water. And in this metaphor, it's like just a waste of my time and energy and focus and awareness. And it's literally feels like it's just taking time off of my life, taking hours, days, weeks off of my life, because it's not even like I have a memory really of what I'm seeing for the most part. It's just shallow, one-off entertainment that like doesn't really add much of anything rather than short-term gratification. As opposed to if you spend more time reading or whatever it is, you at least remember like, hey, oh yeah, I read this book. I remember I had these few takeaways. Like you have the memory of it in your life. My thing with social media is I just feel like it's like when you're doom scrolling specifically, it's literally like you're unconscious on autopilot. It's like the same thing as like if you were to get really drunk and do a bunch of drugs, you just like black out. I've always hated that because I'm like, these people are just mindlessly taking off years of their life because they have no memory of it. It's like the same thing that doom scrolling, feel. And I know it's like kind of like a strong, I guess a harsh explanation of it, but I really think it's so true. And it's more so having the awareness, especially of where things are going. I think it's only going to get worse. And I say this not to fearmonger or like make anything more depressive. I say it just to make sure we are all aware, because if we're aware of it, we have the power to change it. And I think it's one thing that there's so many people in this world who are just unaware of it, blissfully unaware. That's one thing. But if you are aware of it, then you have the power to actually change it and like honestly fight back in a sense, and like put systems in place to protect your energy, to protect your focus, to protect your time. And that's really kind of what I want to share with you guys today, because I also feel like with that, it's so easy for life to pass you by. And I feel like when there's so many distractions like this in our environment, which are just taking us away from the present moment, taking us away from our own mission, taking us away from our own things that we value, what we deem as important to us, what we feel like is a big part of our mission here on earth, like it literally just distracts you and takes away all of your time, energy, and focus that you could be contributing to something much more meaningful in your life and in other people's lives. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, like one of my biggest fears in life is like having life go by and me looking back and being like, whoa, where did the time go? Like, I don't feel like I seized anything. I don't feel like I lived in accordance with my mission, with my truth. Like, I didn't feel like I experienced much. Like, I just kind of let the days go by on autopilot. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm just like staring into the abyss and like someone's flipping the calendar past my face, past my eyes, and I'm just like watching them turn the page, and I'm just like kind of hypnotized on autopilot. And it's like, that's, in my opinion, that's such a scary place to be. And I really want to catch myself when life feels like that, because life shouldn't feel like that. Life should feel passionate. It should feel expansive. It should feel vibrant. It should feel like something that you feel purposeful about. You should have a mission. You should feel driven. You should feel immersed in your life. You should feel lit up in it. And I think the moment that we feel on autopilot or in a haze or disconnected, like that's something where we should have kind of alarms going off within ourselves. And again, it's so important to be self-monitoring and continuously checking in with ourselves to making sure we catch ourselves when we're kind of getting to this point. I basically went ahead and just in my own little journaling reflection, I went over like some highlights from the month of September, but then I also wrote like, what do I want to take with me into October and what do I want to leave in September? And then I also answered the question of what can I do in October to be more present and maximize time. So these are some great journaling prompts. If you guys listening, if you're like, you know what, Liv, like I kind of relate, you know, I'm feeling the same way recently, or I just want to make sure I'm doing another check-in with myself, making sure I'm being hyper aware of how I'm living my life and making sure I'm living in alignment. Like these are just great check-in prompts just to kind of reflect. Again, if you want to journal on these, first thing was some highlights of September that I reflected on. Then I reflected on what to take with me in October. Then what to leave in September, and then finally, what can I do in October to be more present and maximize time? So I'm going to share with you guys my answer to the question of like what I can do to be more present and maximize time. First thing is read. Okay, read more. For me, that like really slows my brain down and just like operate at a slower pace, which I really like. Second thing is more adventures and just like romanticizing life, which I really started to do that the past couple of weeks, where we went and like we did some exploring and adventuring where we went to go see like the different fall colors and fall foliage and fall leaves and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. Like we really went up into the mountains and I really enjoyed that. Stuff like that, just like making more of an effort to do more things on the day to day or like on a weekly basis rather than like just working out, eating and going to bed, you know, like something that's kind of out of the routine that has a little bit more of an adventuresome feel and like adds newness to your life, I think does a ton. So more adventures on like the weekly basis. Third thing is working from coffee shops. I've been doing that more, again, the past like 10 days or so, and I really like it. I've been so productive when I go, and I feel like, again, it's a way to romanticize my life, integrate into society for all my work from home girlies, and just kind of like add a different element and like change things up from your normal routine and whatnot. And it like gives me an opportunity to put on a cute outfit. I love me a good matcha. It just romanticizes things, you know, and I personally love the whole culture around like running your own business and working for yourself. Like I love kind of that girl boss vibe, and I feel like packing up my like little work bag, putting my computer, like grabbing a notepad, getting to a coffee shop, like I feel the way I felt when I was like 6 and I used to pretend to have like a briefcase and like pretend to make to-do lists. It just makes me feel productive. It just makes me feel like I'm doing more. So that's something else I want to keep up for the month of October. Next thing is no phone mornings. That also was my goal this past month. It just makes the world of a difference when I'm not on my phone first thing in the morning for so many different reasons, for setting my energy, for making sure my cup is filled rather than having an energy leak like first thing in the morning when I open up my eyeballs. It also allows me to really preserve my creativity and give myself time to ponder on my own creativity. So no phone mornings are a game changer for me. And the next thing I wrote is creative time. This could be really anything of journaling, maybe looking through like a cool book. It's doing my like little clay creations when I make little things out of clay. Just stuff to get myself in more of like a zone of play, if you will. I even kind of count yoga in this time or like the hip hop classes in this time. Just something to like get me more in a creative flow, just make me feel like I'm enjoying, I'm playing, and not everything needs to be this productive workflow, if you will. And honestly, next thing for me, which I feel like some people who are very politically passionate might disagree, but another thing on my list is to let politics go. I just feel like, especially like recently, it's been shoved down our throat no matter which way you look on social media, I feel like, because things are just a total frenzy. And, you know, I think it's important to be aware of what's going on. And I've done a lot of work within the past year to be aware, because before I'd never paid any attention. But at the same time, it's like there's only so much that can be done in your day to day. And I think really, like, first of all, none of us are freaking in the White House. None of us are present in the Senate room. None of us are present with our lab coat on conducting research. None of us is present in the foreign relations meeting. So like we really know only as much as we're able to access on the internet. And I think it's so important not to get lost in the sauce, quite literally. And I just feel like it's done really nothing more than cause so much divide, so much hatred, so much online bullying, first of all, which like drives me up a wall. It's beyond. And I just, again, feel like it's really not doing much of anything productive rather than, it's just making people angry. It's making people more divided than ever. It's making people hateful. And it's just causing this such harsh contrast when really like the spiritual side of me is like, what is this even for? And again, I think there's a balance as with everything. And it's our job to really draw a line in the sand and create a boundary with something that's not serving us and with something that's like a full-on energy leak. And that's what I feel like politics has turned into, because there's not a lot that can be done in our immediate day-to-day. But I feel like what is even more powerful, in my opinion, is making sure we're remaining grateful. We are remaining in a high vibe place. We are remaining in a place where we are just happy and grateful and being kind to the people that we're interacting with on a day-to-day and being loving and being accepting. Like, I think that is the best thing that we can do for the planet and raising the energy of the planet and holding that frequency and holding that vibration. I think that's what's most powerful. And I think that's something that's very much so within our immediate power. And focusing so much on the heartbreak of current events just really has done nothing productive for me, to be fully honest with everyone, in the past bit. And so it's just something that I think is worth, again, be aware, but don't let it consume you and be your whole entire identity, and like focus on the good that you can contribute in your day-to-day, in your community, and the people you interact with spreading love, spreading light. I just think that's the most productive thing. And I think, again, it's really has just, the politics are doing a great job at distracting everyone and continuing to pull us out of the present moment. So I think using your discernment, drawing that line in the sand and creating that boundary wherever you need to still protect your well-being and your peace of mind. Like, it's so important now more than ever to hold on to that. So those are some things that I want to do in October to be more present and maximize my time. 1, read more, go on more adventures, from coffee shops, no phone mornings, let politics go, and have some creative time. And then for my October goals, I figured I would share, again, if I want to invite you guys to take some time to journal on this month, reflect on last month, and maybe pick 3 to 5 goals that you have for the month of October, or maybe just for the rest of the year, because we're down to our final fourth quarter, right? October, November, December. Anyway, okay, crazy. So I think it's a great time to kind of check in, finish out the year strong, all the things. So for my October goals, number 1, again, because my thing with the phone, because I'm someone, I work on social media, okay, plus it's also obviously consuming everyone's personal life. So it's really important for me to be very intentional with how I'm drawing the line in the sand. And I feel like it's gotten harder over the years, I think, because of how progressive social media has become and just how invasive it's become year over year. So first thing is, I really want to plug my phone in downstairs when I go to bed. This is going to help me eliminate just excess scrolling before bed, and also not be tempted in the morning to check my phone. I just do better when I'm not even checking my phone. Like, I don't want to see what notifications I have, even if I don't click on them. Like, I just don't want to know. So I want to plug my phone in downstairs when I go to bed, and I won't go on it until like once I've done my morning stuff, gone downstairs, made breakfast, then I'll check my phone. Second thing is, I want to read 10 pages every day, either, before bed or in the morning. 3 is I'm going to see where I can, but I want to try to do some social posting from my computer rather than my phone, because again, I just have really been feeling this complicated relationship with my phone lately, where I'm like feeling resentment towards it, but I can't also escape it because it's like what I do for work. So I'm going to try to see where I can do some posting / doing social media work from my computer. For whatever reason, even I've been doing it today, and it's like helped. Like, something about the phone, it's like too compact, it's too like invasive. I feel like I'm like immersed in it. There's no separation between phone and self in a sense, but the computer makes it feel like something separate, something like I'm walking into rather than like an extension of me. So I want to try to do my social media work when I can from the computer. I find that a lot easier to turn off rather than like my phone. Fourth goal for the month is to work from a coffee shop once a week. I'm thinking probably like on Fridays, maybe. Again, something to romanticize my life, make me feel like my life is mine. I'm doing things to add some pizzazz and I'm not just like living on repeat every single day. 5 is to have the bed made. I'm up, ready to go at 8 a.m. Sometimes I've been finding myself, especially as I get into the colder months, I'm sleeping longer than I would like. So I want to be up, bed made, ready to go by 8 a.m., which really is not difficult. Like really, if I really wanted to push myself, I should have put like 7:30, but I think we'll start with the 8 for now and go from there. With the goal to then start my work by 9 a.m. and have like a normal workflow day from like 9 to like 5 or 6 or whatnot. So those are my goals for October. Again, I love me a goal setting session. I love me some visionary work. So I definitely invite you guys to take some time either for October goals or Q4 goals and just really reflect. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. 3 to 5 goals, things that are manageable and attainable and what you want to like be putting your energy towards. I just am so passionate about like living life. Like life is meant to be lived. And I feel like, again, one of my biggest fears is to look back on my life and be like, whoa, where did the time go? You know, and I think specifically, I was just talking to my boyfriend about this morning. Like, I think everyone thinks like, oh, you have time, you have time, you have time. And it's like, yes, you do. I don't ever want to like be pessimistic or look at life as the glass half empty and say like, well, life is short, life is short. Like life is long, but it goes by fast. And so you really, it really, if you want to be able to look back on a life that you're proud of, that you're fulfilled by, and really build something, you need to be intentional every step of the way, brick by brick, because that's how then you can look back and be proud of what you've built, which is therefore your life. And I think if we always think we have time, we're not even going to be realizing that we're just creating these gaps. And it's really easy for life to pass you by, and years go by very quickly if we're not diligent and mindful and intentional with each year as they come. And really where I was going with that is I feel like there's eras for everything, right? And we think we have all this time, but you only have this much time to be in your 20s or whatever age you are. You only have this much time to be 26 or 32 or 40 or 21. You only have so much time to be this age where life is exactly the same. Because even if you look back 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, life was different. Your urges were different. Maybe your interests were different. Your goals were different. And so if we're not careful, we're never going to be able to really honor those different versions of ourselves and like be able to explore and dive into each one. Because even I feel like, you know, things that I wanted to do in my early 20s, there's certain things that I don't really gravitate towards anymore. I don't resonate with it anymore. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that just because we're always evolving, we're always progressing. And same thing as like I have things that I want to do when I'm 26 that I don't really see myself probably not wanting to do when I'm 33. And so it's like, yes, you could say you have time, but then as that time goes by in 5 years, you're like, oh, I'll do it. 5 years later, you're like, well, I don't really resonate. I don't really care to go to Bali for 2 months anymore. And then you never were able to get that experience, you know? Like, I guess I just want to say, like, there's certain goals and urges and experiences that kind of have a shelf life that only resonate with a certain version of you. And if you don't dive in when you have these urges now, or these pulls now, you may not ever, because they might pass you by. If you let time go by, that version of you may not resonate with them anymore, and you're going to have missed that boat to go experience those things. I just feel like certain goals kind of really do have a time and a place in a shelf life, and they really only resonate with a specific version of you. And so I want to seize every era of myself, every version of myself, to make sure I'm really maximizing every year of my life and every version of me. And almost I'm seeing it as like making sure I'm spending quality time and really getting to know with each version of me, rather than skipping, you know, the ages of 25 to 30 because I was floating in the abyss and just felt like I was going to have time in my whole life ahead of me. And I never really seized anything. And then by the time I'm 33, I don't have the same urges as I did as I was 26, and I never experienced those things, you know? So I just think it's important to stay aware, stay mindful, stay intentional, stay passionate, stay driven, stay ambitious, and really checking in with yourself, checking in if your actions are lining up with your goals, with the life that you want to have, and really reflect on the macro of like, how have I been feeling these past 3 months? Am I content with my workflow? Am I content with the effort I'm bringing just in life? Am I content with the passion I'm bringing in life? Like, I'm just totally that person that's like, I want to know, like, what are we working towards? I'm very mission focused. I'm very impact focused. I want to know I want to live with intention. I want to have a focus. I'm very mission driven. There's no other way to put it. I'm a visionary. I really think the most fulfilling life is when you are living in true alignment with your mission and you have something that you're building, you have something you're working on, which could be a literal tangible business, or it could be your health, it could be your hobbies, it could be your relationships, it could really just be your overall life, which is what I feel most passionate about, is like designing something that I'm proud of, that I love waking up to every day. And again, that comes with meticulous auditing and really making sure you're mindful that your actions are lining up with the path that you're going on and the direction you want to be going in. So that is everything that I have for this episode. I hope this was a little mini shake up, wake up reminder. If you guys have kind of been lost in the sauce, I feel like especially this time of year, it's easy to kind of lose the plot a little bit. So I hope this will help everyone kind of realign, regroup, reset your 2020 vision and know what you're charging towards. So for the affirmation for today, I have the courage to spark change in my life. I have the courage to spark change in my life. It's so easy to live the routine day to day, right? It's so easy to stay on autopilot. It's so easy just to do the same old, same old. It's so easy not to initiate any differences in your life to add spark. But that's why I really like this affirmation. It says, I have the courage to spark change in my life. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to add vibrancy to your life again, if you want to feel alive, if you want to feel mission focused, if you want to feel passionate, it comes from making these changes. It comes from making sure your mindset is aligned 2020. It comes from your action steps every day. It comes to your habits that you're doing every day, because your habits accumulate into your day-to-day, and your day-to-day accumulates basically into your life. So you have to put in the effort to make the change. You have to put in the effort to spark a difference in your life. And really it comes down to courage to be able to initiate that change in your life and actually implement to create something new. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm sending you so much love, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next epi. Peace out.